No matter how hard we try, it is inevitable for us to argue and disagree. That is why it is essential that the chosen know how to argue in a peaceful manner while still getting their points across. The chosen ones are meant to have holy discernment, to not function out of an egotistical disposition. Society trains many to win an argument by any means necessary, using hurtful words or even physical force. We can see this with the emergence of reality TV shows and sites which promote this behavior. This competition is not how we will live our lives. To argue effectively as a chosen one, you must follow these 5 pillars of righteous dialogue. Pillar 1 is de-escalation. Chosen ones, whenever you argue or disagree, always seek to de-escalate. Ask yourself, what will you gain by fighting? If you discern that arguing will not result in you gaining something positive, then choose to de-escalate instead. You will not be like those who see a close to an argument, but want the last word and continue to instigate further turmoil until a simple disagreement becomes something else entirely. Families have been destroyed because they did not know how to properly argue. If someone wants to dominate you by winning a meaningless argument, they have proven just how weak and insecure they truly are. So then, you de-escalating is the most subtle way to let an aggressor know that you have detected their weakness. You choosing peace over arguing will eat away at them and will open their eyes to the world of Yahweh, which will be made known through your patience and kindness. But how do we deal with someone who wants to persistently argue with us? This brings us to the second pillar. The second pillar is to realize that every time someone wants to argue with you, even after you have de-escalated, simply remember that it is a test. Every time this happens, it is an opportunity to strengthen your spirituality. Each time you realize it is a test and act accordingly as to maintain inner peace, you bring yourself closer and closer to Yahweh. Most arguments are meant to be minor in the first place. It is humanity which became so disconnected to their own spirituality, which makes them passionate at arguing. Chosen ones, we will not spend energy in vanity, but we will bask in the glory of Yeshua, made known in the love which radiates in this channel. When the chosen see this kind of behavior, we observe with sympathy, knowing that these individuals simply don't have the spiritual teachings necessary to know how to properly behave. They know not what they do. These individuals choose hate over love because they did not realize that it is easier to destroy than it is to fix. Ask yourself this question and ponder its meaning. Why do certain people like to argue? Anytime someone shows that they will not relent from an argument until they get their points across, it proves that they are of the world, which wants to dominate empathetic individuals. They will not stop arguing because that is their greatest display of strength. And that is why the third pillar of arguing righteously is allowing the aggressor to think they have won. Chosen ones, if you are ever in a heated discussion, you must be okay with allowing the one who cannot relent to think they have won their silly game. Once you do this, you prove your spiritual wisdom and have mastered yourself in that way by not being tempted by Satan to protect the illusion of ego, which is nothing more than weakness masked as strength. By doing this, those who argue with you will be silenced out of embarrassment because they relied on your participation to appear significant. The ego is the same as pride. The chosen ones have no pride, so they argue the very least. And when they do it, it is always the most peaceful and docile disagreements witnessed, possessing no passive aggressiveness, but only a clear mind, impenetrable to mind games. For the chosen, arguing becomes a foreign task because empaths contain the love of God within them and are not expecting or seeking a fight. So when someone who is prepared for one approaches, it always feels strange. My beloved, if you are forced to give a response, focus only on one thing, and that one thing is truth. The fourth pillar of arguing is to give only one truth. My people, you cannot argue righteously without the truth. Give only one truth-filled response to avoid long conversations, which decreases the possibility of being misunderstood and halts the opportunity for the enemy to manipulate you with their delusions. The deceitful one purposely forgets certain facts while simultaneously pointing out your shortcomings to make themselves appear to be saints. You must notice these subtle but telltale signs as they unfold and lose interest in even showing your wisdom. Because those who are truly wise don't seek the recognition of their wisdom, for it was given to them by God. When you give this truth, never go off topic. Remain on this one truth, and your one truth will resonate with the truth of 1,000 voices. Do this to bypass their schemes to gaslight you and make you forget reality through their use of mental overload. They are seeking to install distractions and emotional dissonance into your psyche to get the ego boost that they so desperately need. Choose to maintain happiness because a feeling is something you pursue and is not something we have a right to. This is why the chosen ones are the happiest, because every cell that they are comprised of is empathetic and radiates genuine love. Arguing increases the stress hormone cortisol and is brought forth by the human ego. But the chosen are youthful and have attractive faces because they choose inner peace over winning an ego battle. Have you ever been in an argument with a fool? Their points are always based on heedlessness, but if you carry on to argue, then it implies that you partly agree with their logic. Silence. Silence is the best way to respond in almost any argument and is the final pillar. Silence is a response God uses to employ deep thought. No matter what you say, someone can always refute your arguments, despite how well formed they are, and present their own, no matter how baseless they are, leading to a never ending cycle of back and forth. A heated argument is nothing more than a competitive movement of evasion and trickery. But with silence, one cannot employ their mental tactics upon you, but is now forced to look deep down at their own spiritual well being to assess why they were interested in arguing with you in the first place. Never insult your own intelligence by arguing with someone who behaves as a fool. As written in Proverbs 12, verse 15, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. Giving value to the words of a fool by arguing with them defeats the purpose of having a renewed mind. So when you determine that you are divulging with a fool and not a rational thinking person, politely answer with silence as not to throw your pearls to swine. The most important thing we must realize is that those who we argue with should feel the love of God even when they argue with us. This is the best way to gauge whether or not you are arguing righteously. We, the chosen, only seek the presence of Yahweh, our Creator, and maintain love between one another. Anything that interferes with this will not be given attention. We will bask in the love and glory of God for all time. To summarize, we are to argue only in a righteous manner. If you follow these steps, you will metamorphosize to your next spiritual level.